Hello, Ferdinand. How are you?
What's happening? I'm doing good, Carrie. How about yourself?
Hey, you know what? I'm awesome. And look, I say this a lot. I'm so excited that you're on, but man, I love talking to you. I love your story. I love your enthusiasm, and I hope that we can pull some of that out today because we're going to talk about something really, really cool that every business needs. But before we get to that, give us a little short history of Ferdinand.
Short history on Ferdinand. Well, first of all, thanks, Carrie. I appreciate you inviting me to be here, and I love talking to you too. We've had some great talks over the years. Little hit on me. And I don't know if you even know this, Carrie, but I was one of the first original employees of Backrub, which is now Google. And I helped to code and patent the search algorithms that we use today. So that's kind of why I understand.
Oh man, I did not know that.
Yeah. That was how I got started. I was just a kid, man. But my real dad worked for JPL and was working on the SR-71 Blackbird. So he had a computer in his room, and I would break into that computer when it was like A Run, B Run, Swashbuckler, and all the, like the Oregon Trail, all back in the day with, bulletin boards. So I was breaking in and I was getting spankings and getting hit by my dad. But I was fascinated by this computer. So yeah, that's how I got my start. Was they were trying to sell this web package to my mom in 1997. And she put me on the phone, and I was like, what are you talking about? Websites? Everybody uses Yellow Pages. Like, why are you at my mom's office? And she doesn't know anything about this. She's an older woman. Leave her alone. And he was like, what do you know about websites? And I go, I know a lot about websites. What do you know about websites? So we went back and forth. And he said, I'd like to offer you a job. This was Craig Silverstein. If you don't know who that is, look that up. He was one of the first people at Google. So he brought me out from Tennessee to California. And we were working in this, it was just a bunch of kids, man. It wasn't like we were working for Google. We didn't know that. We were just trying to get a job.
Right.
But the big thing was, how do we take the Yellow Pages and bulletin boards and what was going on at the time and turn it into this information superhighway? How do we bring people to this information online, and what makes it attractive, and how can we do it? And then it became fascinating to me. So, and then when they got bought out in 99, a venture capital firm came in and new management came in. There's like 6 or 7 of us in that office, that satellite office. And then we just asked for like $65,000 a year. And we wanted some stock, and they didn't even entertain anything from us, any of us. We came in that Tuesday, because that was Monday afternoon. We came in Tuesday morning, and the office had been cleared out. All furniture was gone. The doors were locked. This guy, Blaine Mansfield, who was one of the investors, came, and then this big Mercedes. He pulls up there, shaking on the doors, trying to get them open. He goes back to his car, slams the door, drives off, and we find out 2 days later he committed suicide.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're all like, what are we going to do? So my thing with SEO is Google burned me. I mean, they really did. They burned me. So my thing is to teach people how, or to get them back, which I do on a daily basis. And I don't pay ads. I just don't do it. I won't do it. That's kind of my story. Sorry, took up too much time.
So to sum it up, you have this chip on your shoulder against Google, and you want to do everything you can to get your clients business from Google without paying anything for it.
Yeah, I know it's kind of bad, and it's probably not it's probably unhealthy, but I just can't. It was wrong, man. Everything in that patent that they have was stuff that we put together, and it was like we worked hard at that. That was hard, man. We didn't have any specialized computers. It was notepads, phone book, and a computer screen, trying to figure out what do we do. And no, there was no beautiful offices. We were on desks with wires running everywhere. construction people trying to fix boards. Like it was nothing pretty. And then
So
now it's,
you're saying you didn't have the ping pong tables and the soda fountains and
I wish.
the pods and all
I
that.
wish that would have been pretty cool. I mean, I worked with some really cool people. I'll put it that way. Like I worked with some really cool people. I built some good relationships. And that was fun. But the opposite end of what they did to us and what we did for them, that's unequally yoked. They completely just slapped me in my face, kicked me out to the side and said, go be you. We're going to be us. So now it's like, okay, well, let me show you what I can do. You want my clients?
Well, let's talk about that, because you mentioned the one thing that from my marketing standpoint, I am still fighting against, and that's the mentality of the Yellow Pages, right? You still have people that don't understand that the search engine has replaced the Yellow Pages. Right. So in the entire marketing scheme, if you have a business, you have a multitude of ways to grow it. Right. Now you can still do the 1999 thing, which is almost like doing Yellow Pages, and that's going to chamber meetings and BNI and leads groups and social groups like Rotary and Kiwanis and clubs and things like that to grow your business. Now, if it's great if you're community oriented and you want to meet people, there's lots of intangible benefits, but to grow your business that way takes a special personality, number one, and number two, a long time.
Why do you think the members are so old?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, then there's the other way, other ways, you can understand that digital marketing is where it's at, but then what do? Right? Do you do SEO? Do you do paid traffic like Google ads, or you do social like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or, YouTube? So how do you differentiate what a business should do in terms of marketing?
Okay. You want me to answer the question? Is that
that is the question.
Okay. All right.
How do you differentiate? Because look, you're an SEO guy.
Yeah.
So I would tend to think that you're going to say that most people should take a look at SEO.
I absolutely. So it's kind of a multi-part question in a sense, because SEO has to be done. There's no, that's by default. It just, anybody who thinks that they can get away in this world with running a business in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2021, without doing SEO, you're sadly mistaken. Sadly, sorry.
Okay, define SEO in that circumstance, though. Are we talking about building a website that functions? Are we just, a brochure versus one that works really well with the search engines? What are you talking about?
Multitude of platforms. You can't think that just by, I get it. Maybe some business owners, I just did these graphics and we're going to send them out in the mail, because that's going in the trash. No one cares about that. Where are you? Like, if I get one of those things in the mail, that's immediately trash. When we had the fireplace working, it was fire, like it was a fire starter. Mm-hmm. That was until my wife was like, oh, you can't burn ink, so that goes in the trash. So you have to think of where people are nowadays. What do you see where you go? Everywhere. This, right?
Yeah. I was going to say a cell phone. Mine's not with me, but
you're in your
cell phone.
You're this constantly. That's what everybody's doing, whether it's directions, whether it's advice, because now you have psychotherapists that are talking to people as well, whether it's music.
Yeah.
Whether it's
didn't COVID teach us a lesson?
I mean,
we can meet like this, right?
That's where everything is. And it's not only that, it's the privacy and the comfortability of the person that's behind the screen. Maybe they don't want to meet face to face, so they're going to be on their screen. You think a brochure is going to make them feel any more comfortable? If they don't want to see you, they don't want to see you. They don't want to take that brochure and then walk into your office and be like, hey, what's going on? I saw the brochure in the mail. That was great graphics. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. So you've got to be multiple places. You can have a brochure, but have that brochure be a landing page, that piece of your property. So that landing page goes back to your website. And then talk about that on your Facebook channel. Hey, I just made this brochure. And then that links back to your website. And that's just, small little piece of building a network for you. And then you can keep adding different properties into that and sharing. And that's syndication. So that way now people are seeing what you have.
Right. Now, I think you just lost most people, because
I know.
most people believe, well, I have a website.
That's not enough.
And you said, I have to have a landing page that then takes me to the website.
Well, let's look at it from that standpoint. Let's look at if you were talking to a person, right? We're just that, let's say you're bookkeepers, right? So let's say I'm a bookkeeper. My name is John. I'm at the supermarket. Do I go up to John or to Sam, who I see over there, who possibly needs my service, and say, hey, Sam, this is my homepage. This is about what I do. These are my services, and this is how much they cost. And you know what? You can locate me over here on this map. And if you walk over here, we don't do that. You're a landing page conversation. It's, hey, Sam, how you doing lately? You having a problem with, your bookkeeper or anything, your taxes? Landing page, one piece of information that you just asked.
Right. So one idea, one page.
It's not a plethora of information you're trying to throw at people with just your website, which is what that is. It's a site with a bunch of page. And I think, so let me back this up so that people get a clear understanding of this. Your website is web pages. It's not a website. It's a holding spot for web pages that are branched out. Your about us, your home, your contact us, your services, your accomplishments, your team. They're pages. So people really have to understand that it's not just one page. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost. They're like, okay, I've got a website. No, you don't.
You have
You've
a
got
collection.
Yes. That's where the understanding of this starts to come together. When you see that it's web pages,
right?
Now you see that they're separated by separate messages that you're trying to now deliver on those pages. So,
but that is not how most people do it.
No,
you
that.
know that.
But again, that's where you're going up to the person in the grocery store saying, hey, John, this is what I do. And this is what I can do. And hey, look at me. Hey, you're just puking information on people. And then what do you think John's going to do? Dude, this guy's
he's going to say, you sound like an insurance agent. I'm running away.
Right. I'm coming to talk to you about your extended car warranty. People are going to be like, get away from me. So but it's different. If, hey, John, how the taxes? Tax season. How's everything going? A lot of times people are like, oh, well, they're going all right. Well, as a bookkeeper, the pain points. Oh man, that law that just changed. That's going to be a doozy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All of the pain. So, but you don't start it with like blah of here I am. It's conversation. So I think it's simplicity, but I think people make it complex in a sense, if that makes any sense.
Well, look, I think there's a line of demarcation between people who do marketing and people who design websites. And
True.
And the designer of a website is not looking at all those functions that you just talked about. They're not looking about conversion or conversations or how do I get somebody interested in going further down, into my marketing funnel.
Right.
They're looking at the things that attract the eye. They're looking at colors and design and maybe some content, but even their content is not geared around the style that I think you and I would tend to go to, which is more of a direct marketing conversation on page. It's like, who was it that said this? That I think it was Claude Hopkins, going way back. I mean, over a century ago. But he said that that when you're doing advertising, it's nothing more than salesmanship in print. And that's all we're doing with websites today, especially those landing pages, those specific places It's salesmanship on print to
Yeah.
let you know, hey, I understand what your problem is.
Mhm.
I have empathy with what your problem is, and I also have a solution for your problem.
Right.
And I have all of these other results that show that I can do what I can say I can do. Hey, would you like to have a conversation about it?
Right. Exactly. And
What
sometimes it
designers
may
don't
not
do
even
that.
be, it may not even be going into this is what I can do. It's the, oh, I see you have a problem, because the person may say to you, yes, I do, and I need some help. You never know how that may go. It's just a
Right.
matter of addressing that pain point. And I think a lot of, actually, it's not even, I think, I see a lot of the times where people are focusing on so much of what they do and not answering the question within their marketing material of the pain
Yes.
point of
Yes.
the customer. So it's not a bragging session. It's more of, what are you going through that I know you're going through, that I can put into a phrase or some terms that trigger that reaction in you that makes you want to read what I have to say. That's where
Yeah.
it comes. So
Yeah.
it's
So if you start putting emotional trigger words into your copy, now we're really differentiating between conversion elements and SEO elements versus design elements.
well, that, see, there's, I have a design team, and then I have an SEO team. So because my designers will never get what needs to be done in SEO. It's not like you're saying. It's just the the perfect way to put this is, I was designing an app, and my developer, I was saying to him, this is what I want it to be. All in one step, looking, or three steps, all looking pretty, looking beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's not, you can't do that. Why? Well, because the code doesn't do that. That's not what the code does. The code only does this. So design and code, which is SEO, are two separate, completely separate things. And you
Yeah.
cannot, please, for the life of everything sacred, do not give a design team your SEO to do. That's just, and let's just back that up a little even further. If you're a bookkeeper, please don't try to do this on your own. I get it that you're technical. I get it. I understand. But don't. Just don't. Don't.
So are you not an advocate of GoDaddy's site builder and Wix
Oh God.
and Square?
Don't do that stuff. All they're doing is taking your money. That's really all it is. It's a pocket grab. And I get, that's what businesses need to do. You do it so low, and then your cost ratio is just null and void. No one's paying attention to it. So people just pay it, but it's not smart. I tell my son all the time, make smart decisions. This is a time where you need to make smart decisions if you're a business owner. Just don't do it.
I think I talked to a business coach the other day, and she said that the first thing that she outsourced was her house cleaning. She loved to clean house, right? But she didn't
Okay.
want to do it
Because of the time.
just because she didn't want to do it.
Well, I like that.
Yeah. Now it gave her more time, but she didn't want to do the cleaning. Okay, I can appreciate that. All right. But the second thing that she outsourced was her entire marketing, from website to social to everything. Like, she outsourced all of that
Well, that's
because
smart.
she believes that is a completely different skill set that technicians don't have. Right? Bookkeeper technicians and technician employers, they just don't have that. But the mistake I see so often is that people believe that they can do this. It's like, oh, I can watch a bunch of YouTube videos and I can figure this out. I can get a course, right? I can get a guru to tell me how to do it. And all of that is not really true.
No, unfortunately, it's not. I think the easiest way to kind of even just combat that. I mean, I know what I do when I talk to any business owner who's even considering doing SEO on their own. One of my very first questions is to them, okay, well, I want you, since you are the expert and you think you can do this, or at least close to an expert, show me the list of 200 rules that are run when a spider hits your page. I'll wait. And that's a necessity that you have to have for the spider to even run your page. If you don't know those rules right at the very beginning of this, and there's 200 of them, you mean to tell me that you're going to start ranking your site and you're going to put your marketing in your hands when you don't even know what a site tag is? You don't know what a sitemap is. You don't know what H1, H2, H3s. You don't know what canonical text is. You don't know what any of these referring links are. DA, PA, trust factor. Yeah, I'll wait.
Right. Well, most people don't even think about.
That's why I put that in there.
Yeah, they don't think about ranking their website. They just want a brochure, right? And then they say, well, why does nobody call me from my website? All right. It's like, okay, I want to see if I can get an agreement on this. No matter what type of marketing you do, whether it is the old-fashioned networking, or if you're still using a yellow pages somehow, or direct mail, or social media, or YouTube videos, or Instagram, no matter what type of marketing that you are doing, right? Whether it's organic or paid, everything you do drives people back to a central location.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And on that central location, now we have the opportunity to get them to take an action.
Right.
So if you're driving them someplace, shouldn't that location be relevant to the people you're speaking to?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like if you pick up someone that needs to go to the airport and you drop them off at a lobster bar, that doesn't really work. That wasn't the destination.
Right. And so, okay, you do SEO, but your SEO isn't going to work unless the place that you're taking people, or the place that you're ranking, actually has conversion elements built into it.
Right.
How can I contact you? What is the best way to contact you? All right. I think that businesses, local businesses especially, should be having an SMS chat feature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, look, you can build an email list, and I know there's advocates for building an email list, and they have their uses, but if only 35% of people are opening up an email and 98% of the people are actually reading their text, where do you want to be?
Get those, yeah. And that's the key that you can. I mean, and there's so many different aspects where you can take it down even further in that, but it's a little advanced that I won't go into it here. But yeah, you've got to have that touch point. I think with bookkeepers, it's not like it's like exciting to where you're like going skydiving. So it's not like people are going to be clicking around looking at videos. This is a service that they need to end a problem, which is, if I don't do this and I don't do my books the right way, well, then I can maybe go to jail from the IRS, coming after me, or taxes, state tax, whatever it may be. So I think with each message that the bookkeeper is looking for, you've got to answer the questions of what the people, not this is key. It's not what the bookkeeper does. They already know what you do. Mm-hmm. They're not looking, they know what your service is, but how are you different? And how are you answering their pain point? What are you going to do for them that's going to cause, I'm just branching out here, but let's just say there's a bookkeeper, Michael, out there who also has another specialty service in, I know like my CPA, he's an EA. So he can talk to tons of people for me on behalf of me, almost like an attorney. So he may have those types of services that he wants people to see. How is someone coming after you for tax money? Well, this is how I can help you. And this is how I've helped clients in the past. You're okay. Things are going to be fine. Don't worry. Just contact me. There's just messages that you have to find their pain points. They don't care if you've been in the community 30 years. They'll see that in the reviews. They don't care about that.
So you're actually against the about page that reads like a resume?
You can't. It's not 1989 anymore. Like people are, that's one thing that I think business owners have to give, there's double-edged sword here. People are smart and people are stupid. So people are smart enough to do the research to see kind of, okay, let me see what the validation is behind this person. They're not going to just trust your About Us page. You think just because you said it on your About Us page, you made this huge CV about all your accomplishments, you think that does anything? People are going to scroll past. All right, let's do a test. This is the next time you talk to someone like that. Put a heat map on there, on that About Us page.
A what?
Oh, there we go. See, yeah. So, but that's what I would do. I'd be like, let's put a heat map on this page, and let's, you think it's so important. I'm gonna sit back like Kermit and sip my tea while we watch and see what these analytics show, because it's gonna be cold as ice. Nobody's.
Yes. You talked about that ability to verify what that person's doing, that business owner, right? Yeah. And so if the About Us reads like a resume, a CV, it's boring. Nobody cares about that. What do you think about the testimonials that people put on their page?
Oh, well, let's just say, let's put it to you this way. I think it was on the 12th of last month, I think, or the 22nd of last month. Google did a brand new update for product reviews. Now, this is on their core algorithm, which basically means, for layman's terms, the way when you go out there and you search, they've now put in a barrier of reviews, and they're looking to those reviews. So Daddy Google is up here looking to all the reviews to see what's more relevant and what's more trustworthy and what has more authority. So if you don't have those, let's just go back to your yellow pages. That's working for you, right?
All right. So I'm going to pose a solution for you. And it's provided by Google. That solution is Google Business Profile.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And if you have a business, you need to have that business profile. Absolutely. You need to have it optimized. You can rank it, but at the minimum, you need to be putting all your reviews on that business profile.
Absolutely.
Secondarily, now you need to be able to live stream those reviews from Google on your website.
Yeah. Right.
So now you have third-party testimonials that are coming from the number one aggregator of reviews. That's Google.
Right.
And they're live, so you don't have to mess with it.
Right.
Right. And you just solved the problem of telling Google, hey, here's my reviews.
Right. And not only that, but I think, I'm a very big proponent of using Google for everything, because they own everything. And if you don't, you're kind of missing the boat, because they're putting it all up there for you on the right-hand corner. All the properties they want you to use, they've got them right there for you. You just need to click. So Google business pages, those are probably some of the most powerful. People have to understand that pages, your website, which we talked about earlier, and the web pages, each of those pages have a trust factor, ranking factor, basically on that page. So to layman's terms, this is like, it's not like you're going out to elementary school to watch a soccer game. This is like going to FIFA and seeing what's out there. They have this amazing ability to see what's going on with each page. So all of these different pages now need to be, how should I say, associated with authority. And if they're not, they just won't be, they're not going to be shown.
I don't know that most people understand your FIFA reference, because that's soccer.
Right. Right.
But what you're saying is that's a popularity contest, right?
Big time.
And the more you're associated with other popular online properties
that matter,
that matter, then the
Right.
more Google's going to look at you as an authority site, and the higher you
Yes.
will go up.
Yes. And yes. Yeah. I'll keep
Right.
it at that. I don't want to make it too complicated.
Right. And it's like, okay, well, I'm a local businessman. I don't have to, worry about all this stuff, like, well, yeah, actually you do.
Yeah, you do.
It's like, if you're in a field that there are absolutely no other people doing what you do, then you're right. You don't have to worry about this.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
I don't know what that field is.
I've said it for years. There's every niche has fans. I mean, I can guarantee you, if you look on Google right now about farming worms, that's a niche.
It's actually called vermiculture, and it's
well,
huge.
there you go. See,
It's
now
huge.
There you go. There you have it. See, you want some worms and farm them? It's a niche. I mean, so there you have it.
Yes, red wrigglers are about $40 a pound. Okay.
That there's a niche for everything.
Yes.
For everything.
Yes.
And not only that, but when you're in that niche, don't you want to be found for that stuff?
I would think so. Look, I think I'm a proponent, right? I'm a huge proponent of you need to have a specialty, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because if you don't have that specialty, how do you communicate a message that is meaningful to that one person needs your service?
Right. Right.
Now, that's not to say, let's not confuse that, because Hormozi's right about one thing. And that is you have a service, and that service is about 90% the same, no matter who you're giving that service to.
Right.
Right. But that 10% difference is your wrapper. That's your language. That's how you're communicating your messaging to that specific niche. So you can have more than one niche, but you still need to have a niche.
Absolutely. And when it's niche, when it's niched down, it's scaled within that niche. So, like you were saying, you can have a niche, but it may be like with bookkeeping. There's so many different aspects of bookkeeping that are out there that could be branches off of what your services are. So you're not just so pinned down to just the bookkeeper title. What is your specialty? What makes you different? Did you get into bookkeeping because of this, or do you answer these questions, or do you do this differently, or do your taxes come back fat? Like, there's got to be something that's different about what you do.
Most businesses have something unique to them in an industry, right?
Of course, the
way they do business, how they collect cash, what they, whatever it is, they have uniqueness about them.
Right.
I mean, from a marketing standpoint, we're always able to find something unique about it.
Absolutely. And I think that's sometimes I think that's the business owner's problem. I think as a business owner too, we get backed into this corner to where we're like, okay, how can I deliver this message? When that's really not what you're supposed to be saying. It's how can I answer those questions?
What problem do you solve?
Exactly. It's all how you're telling yourself. What do you need to tell them? They don't need to hear about your history and all of this. That'll go over when you're talking to them on the phone or when they're sitting in your office.
Right.
This is pain points. That's what online I really pain points, happy points, whatever you may want them, learning, education. They're points to where people want something for something. No one's going to come to your site just to come to your site, the Bookkeeper site. They're looking for an answer. It's not like they're looking for a recipe. Oh, let me go to John Smith's Bookkeeper. Yeah, that looks great. Oh, honey, let's have some broccoli for dinner. It doesn't. They have something going on in their head, and they're either worried or they're pissed, because I know I was when I switched my CPA. I was pissed because my last person I used completely messed us up. So I was on a hunt looking for a new CPA. So, but that was my pain point.
Right.
I don't want to pay these excess taxes that this woman made by mistake for me on my return. So I want that fixed. So that was the question. And my new guy, CPA, that was the questions he answered. He didn't tell me about his whole thing until like probably 3 times into our meeting. It was before the whole meeting was like, okay, this is how I can fix this problem for you. Well, actually, it started like, what's going on? Here it is. Okay, I see what you got here. She really messed this up. It's not a big thing. I can handle this all for you. Don't worry about a thing. I'll take care of it. Is there anything else you need to send me? Because I need to know everything that's going on in case there's an audit that comes back.
Right.
He was answering my questions, my fears. He took care of it.
And
Any of that conversation, did he ever say, about me and my map, and let's check out these pictures, and here's my son? None of that. There's none of that.
all right. So, okay, real quick, because I have some other questions I want to ask, but real
Yeah.
quick, websites, pretty or effective?
Effective.
Right answer. I don't know how many times I've had this argument, but I am a believer of effectiveness over pretty.
Right.
And if you say
There is a fine line with that, though, with clients.
Okay. I think we can agree that it depends on which business you're in.
Right.
If you're in the photography business, you better be showing some pretty photos.
Very sure. Bookkeeping, you don't need to show anything
But
special.
yeah, bookkeeping, accounting, no photos. What are you going to show a photo of? Journal entries?
Yeah. Maybe
Come on, man.
an image of yourself, so they see who they're. People buy from people. So
Yeah.
maybe
But
that.
it doesn't need to be complicated. It's about your message, and
Yeah.
I think that's where people go off the rails.
Right. Yeah,
All right.
that's exactly right.
You ready for some other questions?
Let's do it.
All right. What's something important to your daily routine you wish you had started sooner?
That's a good question. I think it's self-talk. That's huge. I think that is big for just for my personal self, right?
Yeah. This is for you.
I'd say self-talk, because there's times where you encounter and this is just for me. I'm big on growing wealth. I that's my thing. I like money. Bad habit.
You
so,
like
but
what,
I have
you like what money will do for you.
I
and
like the
your-
options
and your family.
Yeah, I like the options it gives you. Self-talk is huge, because there's a lot of failures and there's a lot of things that come up against you in life, business in general, that you have to overcome those negative Nancy's that sit on your shoulder that are like,
Mhm.
oh, you can't do that. You're never gonna get that done, or they're never gonna believe you, or that's never gonna happen. There's always something that's sitting over there, just nagging, to where you have to just say, stop. Let me do what I need to do. And you step back and watch while I do what I need to do. But it has to come from a place of calm, because I feel like when you get jittery or too antsy, your decision-making process is sloppy. So the calmness of telling yourself, this is possible. Just take it from step A to step B. I remember when I was learning from my business mentor, because he was a Navy SEAL, I would ask him these crazy questions. I'd say to him, like, did your legs ever fall asleep? Like when you were on a mission, and like, what happened? Like, and you look at me like, what are you talking about, man? And I asked him, like, what does it look like when, the parachute doesn't open? Like, what happens? And so he would answer all these questions for me. So you've got to basically, to cut it short, basically all I'm trying to say is self-talk is huge. You've got to tell yourself that you can do things. Now, this isn't saying to yourself, oh, I can do SEO and I'm a bookkeeper and I can make this. No. I'm talking about realistic self-talk. Like saying,
are you familiar with Shad Helmstetter?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He wrote the book on the things that you say when you talk to yourself, right?
Yes.
And it's all about the fact that we're our own worst critics. We're always downplaying our successes. Yep. We're always
the only ones.
Only
ones.
And so yeah, I'm totally on board with that. Yeah.
I'd say that is huge, because every morning it's a talk with myself, because right now I'm having a battle of going to the gym. Like that's I've been lazy. And I got my medical records back, and I'm like, I got to get to the gym because I've just been lazy. Got to get this pre-diabetic crap out of me. So it's the self-talk though. I got stuff to do. You got to get that done. And right now the self-talk is not winning. So I'm just being honest with you.
All right. Well, great. Hey, what's something you didn't pay attention or pay enough attention to or ignored early and then had to learn the hard way?
Spending time wisely. I wasted a lot of time. Yeah, spending your time wisely because we don't get time back. That was another thing my mentor taught me is like, you can always get money back and always make that back, but time we never get back ever. So I wasted a lot of time in my younger years just being stupid, was just being dumb. And if I would have focused and put that into a venue or into a vertical, I'd be way ahead of where I'm at now. I'm very happy where I'm at, but I would be way ahead. But I wasted a lot of time,
I think that there are a lot of us in that boat.
Yeah. It's, that's one thing that I really wish I would have paid attention to. I would like all high school, college. I just wasted so much time, man. Just so much time was wasted.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What channels have led to the building of your highest quality relationships?
I would say my partnerships that have come from being clients. Those have turned out to be some very rewarding relationships and great additions to my life. And I would have to say my social, it's funny, you have friends that you grow up with in high school and you think that you guys are close, but I've become a lot closer to more people that I've met online through trying to help them or teach them, or I've become a lot closer to them than I have people that I went to school with probably 15 16 years. So yeah, I'd have to say social has been a very, or the web, let's just put it that way, that's been a very big big aspect because you meet some really cool people. That's how we met.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. That is very very powerful. And think of business owners see that, man, that can be some really powerful steps that they could be taking too.
Well, I hear so often, how do you grow your business? How do you get clients? And always people are saying, well, networking. It's like, well, you can do that online. You don't need to drive someplace to network.
Right. Yeah. I think people want that physical aspect of it, that physical connection, that energy that runs through you when you're meeting people. I think if people learn more about what social relationships can do, and if you look in the right places for them, you find that same satisfaction, the same fulfillment is there. It's just a matter of where you look. You can't kind of just cast your reel out there into the ocean, expect to pull in the best fish that you're looking for. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. All right, so Ferdinand, tell us how people can reach you. Where can you be found, and who are you serving right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm starting a new community right now just for business owners. Mostly I've kind of real estate professionals and luxury real estate professionals have targeted me for years. So it's basically been a community that's for them that I'm trying to teach my secret, which is called Rise Up Education, which is like RYZUP. And that's at riseup.group app. So rise up ryzup.group.app. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. And I don't really do any services for anybody anymore. I partner with more people, but I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. So I'm not looking for my thing now is each one teach one. You've got to teach what we know, and I have a lot of knowledge So I'm just
Well,
trying to.
you said that you're breaking into the speaking market.
Yeah, I speak a lot.
Okay.
I
Tell
do a
us a
lot
little
of-
more about that.
So I'm a keynote speaker for the MLS, which is the multiple listing service for people that don't know what that is. And so I help brokers learn how to market themselves online and what to do. But this is, that's such a broad statement. There's so many things that go into this. So that's where Rise Up Education comes in, to kind of break everything down so that people understand, and then they can make educated decisions. I don't need them to hire me, but I'd rather people be educated in knowing what to say, knowing what to look for, knowing what to listen for when they're talking to these SEO clowns that are out there, because it makes our job harder when these guys are out there saying, oh, I can do this, and I can do that, blah, 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 blah. And then they take their money and then they run. And then we come up and we're walking into a person who's been burned multiple times. So my goal is to say, here are the terms, the terminology, the techniques. You can do them yourself, but this is what to look out for. And I'll even jump on calls for people if they need me to. I've had a lot of CTOs fired with me being in boardrooms. I mean, it's true, because it's all, you know how it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. And if you're a business owner, you don't know these technical terms. You're going to just be like, okay, yeah, I guess, so, I don't like that.
The SEO that hides behind the list of things that we're going to deliver you every month.
I hate that. I hate that with a passion. So, yeah, that's the reason for Rise Up Education that I started that, to kind of blow the cover off and show, look, this is what can be done. I'm doing this on a daily basis. It's not hard.
Yeah. You're exposing the little wizard behind the green curtain.
Behind the
Wizard
green
of
curtain.
Oz.
Yeah. If people want access to that, if they want, I'm not forcing anything. It's just, and some of my stuff is a little technical, I know. I just don't know how to explain it any other way. I try to, but.
Well, hey man, I know that you dumbed it down for us today, and I really appreciate that.
I try, man. Sometimes I get a little bit too detailed, I know. But it's just me.
All right. Well, hey, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate your participation.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate being here, and thank you for your time and your friendship, man. We've been friends for many, many years. So this is great.
I think we first spoke in 2013.
I think so. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. Long time ago.
Yeah, I remember sitting on the back porch in Atlanta smoking a cigar while we're having
your cigars, man. Yeah, that's right. I remember those. Yep, all the time, man.
Yeah. All right, very good, Ferdinand. This has been a true pleasure.
Same here, man. You have a wonderful day, and I appreciate everything again. Hopefully,
all right, thank you.